Good afternoon. I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching. It is appreciated as always. Britain's biggest racist, Humza hapless Yousaf, failed First Minister of Scotland, has put out a video on X regarding the recent migrant hotel protests and politicians from Reform and specifically the Tories attending these protests. I wanted to remind everybody why I call him the biggest racist in the UK, so I'm going to play this first of all.
Portfolio alone. The Lord President, white. The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The Head of the Law Society, white. Portfolio.
Imagine that, Scotland being predominantly a white nation. Imagine all the senior positions being held by white people. Now, Humza Yousaf has a major problem with the whiteness of Britain, which may explain parts of this next video, which I'm going to play now. I'm going to try and deconstruct it as best I can as I go through it as well. I'm going to call out the BS when I see it as well, so we're just going to play this now.
Tories are telling us that we have to protect our children from asylum seekers. Well, as a father of 3 girls, let me tell you that it's not asylum seekers I'm worried about when it comes to my daughter's safety.
It wouldn't be. The people, for example, the predominantly Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs that have infested and infected this United Kingdom over the past 50 years, they statistically will not target your daughters. They will target white people's children. And that's what you need to be aware of. But I'm sure you are aware of that, and that's why you're saying what you're saying. You don't have to be worried. You really don't, and you know this.
It's men.
So he's falling into the Jess Phillips rhetoric now. Don't look at the detail. Don't skim down on the minutiae. Don't actually do any statistical analysis. Just broad brushes, nice and simple. Demonise half the population of the country and just say it's men.
Predatory men who come in every colour, every religion, are from every background.
But disproportionately per capita, there are certain nationalities and there's certain people that are not native to the United Kingdom that are statistically much more likely to commit these heinous crimes, such as people from Afghanistan, for example.
Of course, those who do commit heinous crimes against women, be they asylum seekers or those who have lived in the UK for 10 generations, they should and must feel the full force of the law.
They should, but they don't. The two-tiered approach in the United Kingdom means that if you're from an ethnic minority, you will get a later sentence or not even a custodial sentence. The likelihood is you won't be deported, you'll be given a suspended sentence, and you will get the bleeding heart liberals that run the judiciary. The judges will let you off because they feel sorry for you, and you think people not born in the West need to be judged by a different standard than natives of the Western world. But again, you know this.
But when you purposely single out asylum seekers, as the Tories are doing, you're not interested in protecting women. You're deliberately trying to fuel hatred.
Incorrect again. These people have no right to be in the United Kingdom, in my view. The asylum system is broken. The asylum system is flawed. It needs a complete revision, and I would say that you need to stop asylum claims 100% for at least a decade to get our ducks in a row, and then only if the British people decide we want to engage in this type of charity do we do this. That would be my view, and it's also the view of Rupert Lowe from Restore Britain, formerly of Reform UK. And I agree with Rupert Lowe on this 100%, it has to be said.
You're reviving the old colonial lie that people from the East are somehow dangerous savages.
If it's a lie, why is there a two-tiered approach with the judiciary? Why is it the special considerations given to people not born in the West? Why is that, Humza? Can you explain that to me, please? I'll be here on the edge of my seat with my popcorn waiting for you to get back to me on that one, chap. Go get back to me, that's a good lad.
This isn't just rhetoric. We've seen exactly where it leads. It turns fear into mobs who are ready to set fire to hotels.
This is where this is where he blames people like Lucy Connolly for stoking violence and hatred. I'm going to say this now. She said, "Burn it down for all I care." That was an incitement to violence, even though she was misadvised to plead guilty. So the Crown gets their scalp, and she is guilty of the crime because she pleaded guilty. It wasn't incitement. It was for all I care. And that means indifference. That means they don't care one way or another. That's not incitement. There was no date. There was no location. And she removed the tweet.
Asylum seekers. It leads to bricks through windows. It leads to firebombs aimed at vulnerable families who've already fled war.
No, most of the people coming into the country on the asylum system are not fleeing war. Most people are from safe countries or countries that are not in a conflict. But again, you know this.
In persecution. And here's the truth. Violence against women is committed by men from every walk of life.
But disproportionately non-British people, disproportionately non-native British people, disproportionately particular ethnic minorities commit these crimes.
Blaming asylum seekers doesn't make women safer.
No, it doesn't, but it puts a spotlight on something that the government is complicit in. They know the data, they know the statistics, and they choose to do nothing about it. And you, as part of the British government, are doing exactly the same thing. You're a political puppet, and you don't really care about anybody that's not in your demographic. Let's call it what it is and let's be realistic about it, okay?
It just makes society more divided.
Yeah, you'd know all about dividing societies, wanting to split Scotland out of the United Kingdom, turning brother against sister in the United Kingdom, wanting to rip one of the best parts of the country out of the other. You'd know all about creating division, wouldn't you, Humza? You hypocritical little fuckwit.
More suspicious, more willing to turn on the most vulnerable.
Don't believe a word that you say. Let's be honest about that.
What the Tories are doing isn't about women's safety. It's about stoking fear. It's the oldest populist trick in the book.
Right, that's enough from you. I'm not going to defend the Tories, alright. They started the hotel asylum madness, the asylum hotel madness. They started it. They don't get any credit for showing up at a hotel to say, yeah, we're going to close it. However, even more egregious is what Humza Yousaf is doing here. I want to go through a few statistics with you now. And he's of Pakistani descent. His parents emigrated from Pakistan over to the United Kingdom in the 1960s. Look what Pakistan's doing to people from Afghanistan and in his ancestral homeland. Let's just see what they're doing. Oh, look. 3 million Afghans, many of them at risk for aid in the United States, face expulsion from Pakistan. So why is it they can eject people, but we can't? Can you explain that to me, please? I'd be interested to know why you think it's acceptable for Pakistanis to deport Afghans, but we can't deport anybody because of people's human rights. I'd be very, very interested in your point of view on that one. I think this is all about revenge. I'm going to say this now. I think that people in Pakistan have a inherent hatred for Britain, or many people in Pakistan do, because there's many different tribes in Pakistan. It's a deeply divided community and country, and we're importing that over here. When we left Pakistan and India and we partitioned it while we were over there, we did it because of the deep sectarian differences between Hindus and Muslims, and we did it because it was not possible to leave it as a cohesive country with a united people. We had to splinter a part of the country and partition India before we left. And I don't think the Pakistanis ever forgave us for it. And that's my honest opinion on the matter. That's what I think's fueling the uptick in people from Pakistan that are coming over to the United Kingdom, not on small boats. They come over legitimately, probably to see family and friends or people over here, and they claim asylum when they're over in the United Kingdom. And they do this, and they cite family ties because usually they have relatives over here. and they just overstay a visa and then claim asylum. And what do you know? They never go back. I think it's a form of colonial revenge. It's the reverse of colonialism. They're doing it to us because they think we did it to them. Then we look at this final piece here. As I say, Rupert Lowe wants to abolish the entire asylum system. It doesn't work for the British people. Why are we doing it? Evidently, it's being abused on an industrial scale, and we need to scrap it entirely. No more asylum seekers. Again, I completely agree with this. I will critique anyone at any time, all the time, and I will not be silenced, and I will not be called racist because I'm not using racist language. It's about the othering of people. Humza doesn't identify with the white British population. He identifies with his ethnic group and his religion, and his politics are on sectarian lines. Always understand that. Never fall for the bleeding heart rhetoric. It's never usually genuine. Our legal system, our human rights laws, especially the Human Rights Act of 1998, are being weaponised against the British people on an industrial scale. And then you have politicians, failed politicians, like hapless Humza, enabling it. I'm going to call it out here. If you like this video, do the good stuff, like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.